What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Trucking Trader. This is my channel, and we are going to be looking at the Nasdaq futures today, you guys. Same routine. For those of you who come and kick it with me, y'all already know what time it is, right? If you're new to the channel, thank you for giving this video a click. I hope you drop a like. I hope you become a part of the community, because the goal of this channel is simply to just help beginner to intermediate term, not term, but like skill level wise, help those traders out and, just help people figure this thing out, right? So, sorry about that. It's early in the morning. Just turned on just opened up my charts, all right? Because since I don't, trade before 10 a.m. anymore, I pretty much removed that from my trading plan. I don't really need to, be looking at the market too much pre-market. What I found was that the more I look at the market, the more I want to, place a trade. So that is also why I am on the 1 hour chart as well. Because I told you guys before, one thing that we do as soon as we come into the market is we find the swing highs and we find the swing lows. All right. So let me move this box back where it was at. I actually need to make this box purple because I keep confusing it with liquidity, and that's why I keep moving it. All right, there we go. So now we know we have some swing lows that's beneath us, and then we have two swing highs that is above. All right, so if you guys did not see the scream from yesterday, I think it was a very good scream. We pretty much took one trade yesterday. We made about 1,500 on one account and about like 500 or 600 on another account, and then we walked away from the market, right? And I didn't even take the big move. I took the sell. If you go to ICT's channel, I think he was taking a buy, right? I didn't watch his full video, but pretty much if you compare my commentary to ICT's, I'm not going to say which one is better or worse. What I will say is, you're going to hear how he talk about gaps in the market, right? How he used gaps in the market. I think you can interpret ICT concepts however you really want to interpret, and like use whatever you feel comfortable using when it comes to like his concepts. But overall, you really just need to understand liquidity and trend. That's really it, right? Liquidity, trend, and then you need to understand gap theory as well. And then you need to understand order block theory. If you get those four things mastered, your chances of becoming more consistent, it goes up tremendously. Right, so this is obviously a bull market. I would say like these type of markets are extremely bullish. I've seen these patterns before where the market, makes a displacement. Right, I know I have a lot on my chart, but just try to think about the candles, right? We're on a 1 hour chart. We're zooming out for now, just so I can bring everything into full perspective, right? So we made a big displacement. Notice how even when we was coming up all the way down here, right, we didn't really pull back that much. Now, does that mean that the market isn't going to do some type of manipulation one day and sweep out all of that liquidity? No, that's not what that means. But what it means for us right now is that at best, maybe this liquidity down here can get swiped, but we probably ain't going to pull back too far before we take out this liquidity that's up here, resting up top. Right? Remember, each yellow line on my chart is where I like to put my liquidity at. I know my chart looks pretty crazy and chaotic, But the purple boxes is the new week opening gap. The yellow lines are liquidity, and the sky blue boxes are going to be your first presented fair value gap. All right, so that's why we're looking at this swing high up here as a target, and then we're looking at another swing high up here as a target as well. So once you at least figure out how to identify liquidity, which is it's very easy to do. Most of you guys watching this video probably already know how to do that. All you have to do then is go to the 1 hour chart and wait for a run on the liquidity, right? Do not try to trade it before it hits something. Either it needs to hit the liquidity that's like the buy side, is what ICT call it, buy side liquidity, or it needs to hit sell side first before you push the button. All right, so that's very key. Now, if you're the type of person you trade the first 30 minutes of the day, and you're very successful with that, by all means, do what you have to do, right? No one strategy has to be the same. But the key takeaway is you have to have a strategy, and you have to stick to that one strategy if it's really working, if it's profitable. That's the key. Sometimes we all get too fancy. We want to trade London. We want to trade Asian. We want to trade the evening session. Before you know it, you're going to blow your account because you're trading too many different strategies, and you're calling it one strategy, right? And then that's how you also get some really good analytics from your prop firm account. If that's something that you choose to use, you can get some really good analytics and see, where you need to improve, but you can also see what you're doing right as well. Right, so we're drawing up into this liquidity up here. We want to see how far we want to go, I'm not likely to take a trade pre-market, but let's just see how far we want to go for now. We can read some of these candles on the 1 minute time frame. Now, if you're smart and patient, you just stay off of the 1 minute. But sometimes I drop into these 1 minute time frames just to teach, like gap theory and stuff like that. It's real simple stuff. The main question you're asking is like, how are these candles closing on the 1 minute? And that's the reason why I use new week opening gaps, because new week opening gaps and new day opening gaps, right, they really control what's going on. Right, you see all of that down there? This is a new day opening gap where this orange box is at. So if I zoom in, when price came down here, when it broke above, even on the 1 minute time frame, it broke above, it held the midpoint, right? Held the midpoint, didn't even get down into this gap down here. That's a breakaway gap, right? And then it kept going. So sometimes you don't need to know how to read that price action just to find a trade. Sometimes you need to just understand how bullish is the trend, right? That's very important to understand. How bullish is the trend? How far do it wants to keep going up? Now, me personally, even if I was using a strategy before 10 a.m., which I'm not, but just speaking hypothetically, the only way I could take a buy, right, it would have to be something that is not, more than likely, is not going to offer when the market is moving like this. Because we don't have a swing high on a 10 minute, right? We don't have a swing high on a 5 minute. And, we have one on a 1 minute, but it's not as clean. So what does that mean? It's like you gotta have patience. But for me, I would have to use this range. And if I'm looking for a buy, it has to come down a little bit for me. But if I can't find a buy, then obviously I'll just wait until after 10 a.m., which is what I like to do, because that's when the market really, gives you more of an idea of what it really wants to do. Right? You guys can see right here, this candle right here is a very good example of what I'm talking about, because look at the time, right? Obviously, this is the 8:30 news, but if you're trying to trade this, it goes up, comes down, goes up, right? We don't even know what happened with this candle, but this is a lot of confusion. We seen yesterday how much the market consolidated before it made a move. So, you know, right now the only thing we can do until 10 a.m. is read these candles and see how they're closing. So sometimes it's better to watch it on the 1 minute. I mean, I'm sorry, not the 1 minute, but the 1 hour. You know, forces you to be patient, be aware of all your swing highs. That's up top. Right on the 1 hour, make sure everything looks clean. So obviously, I think I would like to be a buyer today. I just want to see what can possibly happen on different time frames. I'm going to start by at least watching a 5 minute. You know, me, I always like to see liquidity be swept before I even try to take a trade. But we're going to see what happens today. We have a lot of liquidity resting below us. So let's see. We need to see how this 1 hour candle is going to close in order for us to like get the proper information that we need to find a good trade. Let's see. It looks like it's pulling back a little bit now. We still don't have a swing high on a 5 minute, but you guys can see now it's starting to respect the lower quadrant, right? The lower quadrant of this new week opening gap. Still too early to tell because it didn't climb on top of everything else. So you would expect that it's probably going to climb on top of this one as well and keep going higher. That's just basic stuff, right? It's coming back to retest this one down here. So now we want to see how much, how much this right here want to hold. This blue box right here is the first presented fair value gap from yesterday, right? And we should have a first presented fair value gap from today. Let me check that out. Technically, is this one right here. This the one. I know ICT is probably going to disagree because I was watching this video, and the one that I said was the first presented fair value gap from yesterday. In his video, he said that was not the first presented fair value gap. So me, the thing I like to do is I'll just box it up anyways and see if the market respects it for myself. Right, so I'll put it on there and see is the market gonna react off of that, and then when you box this up, you have to make sure you box this up the right way. because notice how these candles have a little bit of a gap. Oh, sorry. So these candles have a little bit of a gap. You can see the little gap right there. And then even on the one that's, because you remember the fair value gap is a 3-candle pattern, right? So you need 3 candles to even figure out where a fair value gap is at. But I was teaching someone this before, right? When it's a gap like that, you have to box all of that up. All right. There you go. So it should look like that. You could take a screenshot of that. What's up, Mike? Nice to meet you. If you are a day trader, Mike, I would love any of your commentary. I would love to hear any of your thoughts. I'm always a student myself. No matter how many years I do this, I'm always going to be a student as well. So it seems like that first presented fair value gap is quickly holding price to the downside. So, I guess we can label this one too since we're here. I think yesterday was the 9th or the 10th. Was it I think that was the 10th actually. Don't really matter that much. It's just for learning purposes. So we're quickly going to the downside now. Market just dropped like almost 50 points right there. So we should have a range on the 5-minute now. Okay, we have to wait for this candle to close. So it looked like we may have a range right there. Coming up real soon. We need 2 more minutes, right? So that's why you might as well wait until 10 a.m. anyways, right? Because you have to wait for a range on the 5-minute or the lower time frames as well. And then obviously you have to wait for some type of liquidity. So more than likely you're going to be waiting for one of the two. So it's just always best to just be patient. Right, let the market come to you. You don't have to rush. Imagine the people who was buying in right at the top because they thought, oh, we know it's just going to keep going. It looks really, bullish today. Right now, you're taking an early loss for no reason. Right, so maybe some people caught the sale, maybe they're up. I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but I think yesterday was a good example of how you can take one trade and then walk away. Right, we took that one trade. We made like I think 100 points in like 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. So looking to do the same thing today, right? Just if we can just, be disciplined and get one trade and walk away, that's the best thing you can possibly do. We just, we don't need anything that's going to be difficult, right? We don't want to get in too early. That's not a part of our strategy. Right? Getting in too early is not a part of the strat around here. So we're going to see. We can also look at the 6-minute time frame, right? I can bounce around, and you guys can do the same, right? That's another way to not get faked out, because if you just wait for the candle to close on all of these time frames, more than likely you're going to be waiting until 10 a.m. anyways. Right now, even though all of this is definitely looking really bearish, like I do feel like, you still have to be careful even now, to be honest, because the market could just dip below this range and then bounce right back up and keep going higher. All right, so if we're going to take buys, we want to be real patient. make sure that they're not just faking us out to take the liquidity to the downside. Right? We want to follow the trend, but we also know on the hourly, this thing can pull back and sweep this liquidity at any time. Right, on the hourly time frame, it's too many things that this thing can pull back into. Just the fact that it just stopped right before the midpoint, that's I pay attention to things like that. Like even if you're a seller, if you was able to get in right off if you trusted this first presented fair value gap, as soon as it went up and hit it, I would have never taken that trade. That's a risky trade, but like let's say it worked out for you, you got to take profits right there. I wouldn't even try to get too greedy and try to say, oh, how far is it going to go down? You just never know. This thing might just keep going up for the rest of the day. So I definitely don't want to get caught off trend, but this is a small trend, at least on the lower time frames, right? And if I was going to try to find a sell to take it below, it would have to go all the way back up. Right here, it would have to be a sell just like this. But I don't know if I could trust this sell because it's not within my time. Let me see. Is this even a 3-to-1? Like that could have been a decent trade, but I can't trust it because it's not a part of my actual strategy. So we're going to see if it works out. But I'm not taking this trade, you guys. I'm just seeing if this trade work out. I would rather for it to sweep liquidity on the 1 hour. I told y'all that's very important. Don't let pre-market get you into all of these exciting moves and then you get faked out. If we would have swept this liquidity on at least this one and then made this type of move to the downside, I could trust this trade to keep going down. Right, but at the moment I can't really trust it. Because right now this little order block right here could be holding price up to keep going higher. We have to really make sure that that's not the case. Because you see how fast it reversed on sellers, right? As I told you guys, even if you took that sell from this first presented fair value gap right here, you have to be willing to take profits right there. The market gives you, how many points is that? At least 50 points, right? 40, 50 points. That's a good scalp. The market gives you that within minutes. You have to take it. Don't be greedy because look how fast it came back up to take it away. That's why, trying to be a seller in this type of a market is very dangerous. I don't think I can be a seller. But we have to just wait and see, right? That's why our strategy is the wait and see strategy, because if you don't stick to your plan, it's so easy to say, oh, I'm bored, I want to take a trade, and then you get caught up in consolidation. All right, all we need is one trade, y'all, right? We already funded. We know we can make easily $500 to $1,500 per trade. So if we're funded, all we have to do now is just be patient. Be patient. If we can make $500 in one day, yes, I know it's not like on a real account where you can withdraw it the same day, but if you can just keep doing that, compounding that, if you have that mentality, one trade a day, 500, maybe it's 1,000. Try to go for a 100-day winning streak, right, and see how much money you can make on your funded account when you get funded. Right, but you have to really be disciplined, you guys. Like I can't stress that enough. I've been funded so many times at this point, and it's hard to get a payout because that excitement. You want to take every trade. you want to like use at least 2 or 3 different strategies so you can take more trades, but really less is more. I mean, I know y'all heard that before. I did not make that up myself, but it's true. Less is more. So it's 9:56 a.m. We got about 4 more minutes until 10 a.m. Still did not get a liquidity sweep on a 1-hour chart. So that's just kind of showing you that it could be a choppy day. Right? Based on how this 1-hour candle looks, the next 1-hour candle, I would say that it will want to go higher, but I don't like to make a guess, I tell y'all that all the time. But the logic that I'm using is this right here, right? If we use this swing high right here, then we got this swing low down here where I'm putting this Fibonacci tool at. Now this gap is still valid because it didn't take the overall stop loss, but it did take this stop loss right here. So ICT teaches that like when you use fair value gaps, you can use this candle, the high of this candle as a stop loss, or the high of this candle as a stop loss. So for me, once I see that this first one, right, once this first one get blown through like that, that's a very bullish, signature. So in the 1 minute, you guys about to see this market set right back up. It might not even go to discount today. All right, look at this. All right, we're gonna wait and see because it could just be building liquidity just to swipe it down there, but it also could just be ramping right back up right now to keep going higher, right? So that's what I'm really looking for right now. As we, we got 2 more minutes until price closes at 10. It might be another choppy day, but I'm gonna keep you guys informed. I do think we may be reversing right here. Yep. And notice how it's doing everything right at almost 10 a.m., you guys. Good morning, Melissa. Wow, thank you for the compliment. I love you, baby. All right. So, I still need to wait to see something, some type of liquidity be hit, but it looked like the price held that little, gap right there held price. So I definitely got to be looking for a buy at this moment. Let's see if we can get a swing low. Let's see if we can get a swing low. This market might really take off right here, but I don't want to get too excited. I've seen these type of markets before. Don't want to get too excited though. I need a swing low. A swing high to be made. Well, actually, we already got our swing high. So now we have our range right here. We want price to pull back at least into the discount. Right, this would be a much better trade right here. But because the market is so bullish, it might not do it. That's what I was trying to get to. All right. Market is so bullish, it might not pull back for us. All right, so now we're going to see if we can get a pullback around the midpoint of the new week opening gap. Moving quick now. It's like they turned it on at 10 a.m., right? It's kind of weird how that happened. All right, so First trade, I'm going to see if I can get a pullback somewhere down here. If I'm lucky, I might have to still use this as a stop loss to be safe, though. Let me see. 3-1 will have to be all the way up there. I don't know if it's going to do it, all of that, but we can see for sure. I'm not going to get too excited and try to get in at the top either. I need a good trade that makes sense, right? We waited all of that time. It's not going to hurt us to wait another 15 minutes if we have to. All right? Because honestly, even the safest stop would be this one down here, because we know that's the thing that held price the most, right? Right, this thing right here is the thing that held price. These are equal lows, so I do want to be careful that we're not getting faked out, but I do think this is going to be possibly a breakaway gap. So we just have to wait and see how these candles close on the 1 minute. Was already retesting the midpoint of this gap right here. So if this thing is really bullish, it's likely going to respect the upper levels of this gap right here. If a body closed below the midpoint, then we could see a bigger pullback on a 1 minute time frame. Right? So you can see right there that 1 minute candle that just closed above the midpoint of this new week opening gap. So let's see, right? We may get a good pullback and then the body still close really good. So just be real patient, right? Let's see how we react right here. I still haven't pushed the buttons or anything just yet. I'm looking at my risk to reward in real time to make sure it's worth it. So when it was down here, that was a 3-1 all the way up there, but it might not go that high. So let's just use that high. A 2-1 ain't that bad, but let's see what happens. It might not be that bad if we can move our stop loss up to here. Right, but that's a more riskier stop. We should just more than likely just use a safe stop. We did get a 1 minute candle to close below. So I wouldn't even, this market is doing some real trickery at this point. It's just, for me, it's so hard to be a seller right now. Right, we could also update our range with our Fibonacci tool. So now we know that discount is right there. It just dipped into discount one more time. Had a very nice reaction away. I'm very tempted to move my stop loss like right here, but I don't want to get in too early. I'm conflicted with the risk to reward on this trade. All right, we did hit the midpoint of that first presented. All right, so we're really respecting the levels that I want to, see get respected. I think I'm just going to have to take it. Yeah, at this point, I got to just take the trade. I don't really like how much I'm risking on this trade. I'm risking about 1,700. And I have my stop loss. My entry is horrible. It's all the way up here. So let's see. I'm in on one account. I haven't even got in on the other one yet. getting reversed on now. All right, I'm getting in on the other account as well. So the goal is, if we can continue to get some momentum higher, which right now is not continuing higher at all. So I'm hoping this ain't the fake out. But if it respects this order block on the 1 minute, I know I'm cooked. It needs to blast through there, blast through that 1 minute order block, keep going higher. Otherwise, we might have to get out for a smaller loss. All right. So I'm going to trail my stop loss up right now for a smaller loss because I don't really like what price is doing. We need to blast off right now. Otherwise, I'm trailing my stop up. I should have waited for this. This should have been my entry right here. All right, so this should have been my entry. My stop loss should have been like that. That would have made me much happier. But luckily, I only have one entry right now, so I'm not really risking too much. But I don't like what price is doing for buys. Let's see, maybe if we sweep this liquidity right there on the 1 minute and still hold up on that first presented fair value gap, I think my stop loss should be safe, but we're going to see. Right now, it do not look safe at all. And I'm not going to move it. I don't want to get faked out. Maybe I was too early. If this respect this stop loss, I'm going to be so mad because I could have had a wick entry, but it don't look like it. Look like I should be getting out. I don't want to move it. If it stopped me, it stopped me. Uh-oh, is it going to hold up? I needed to blast through this time. If it don't blast through this time, then I know it's over. They're going to go stop me like immediately. I should have probably moved it right there. I would have already been stopped. I'm trying to trust my stop loss, you guys. All right. We did sweep liquidity on the 1 hour. So I want to be really careful. But I think we should be going higher. So I'm going to move my stop up a little bit, like right below the low that it just made. It doesn't really save me too much money or anything, but that's the first place I'm going to move it up. As it goes back up, and then the next place is going to be, so I got it right here right now. If it goes back below there, then I'll save a little bit. And then as it continues to go back up, the next place I want to move my stop is like right there. But I'm not going to move it yet. I wanted to see it blast through. Because then if I'm wrong, if it goes back below, I'd rather just be stopped out and save some capital. All right, so let's see. I haven't moved it yet. But see, if I would have moved it right there, I would have been stopped out. Like, you really want to see the momentum continue right here if you was taking a buy. Yeah, so that's why I'm about to get stopped right there. I'm stopped. So I definitely got caught off guard right there. So let me see how much did I lose. Did I mitigate any losses? Okay, 400 on one account and 1,500 on the other account. That's not bad. So I might just call it right now because this market is looking real choppy. I feel like I just got chopped up. I really don't feel safe taking the sales. Now I don't feel safe taking the buys either. Like where do you put the stop? Well, sometimes you just gotta take a loss and walk away. Let me see. Let me check the 5 minute before I get off. Maybe I'm too zoomed in. Are we going to sweep this liquidity on the lowers or what? Well, after I take a loss, the best thing to do is just reset instead of trying to find a new trade. The best thing to do is just to reset. Because, I still could be right about the direction, but at this point, it really don't look like it. Let me check the 2 minute time frame. This is like not the type of market I really want to be putting the capital on. Like we've been in this range for way too long at this point. Okay, let me check the 15 minute, or I'm sorry, the 5 minute time frame. Man, this market definitely gonna go up too. Let me see. Dang, maybe I see. And maybe this is the case where you should have just used the safe stop loss and called it a day. Let me see something. If I would have just used the safe stop loss, is the 1 to 3 still there? That's the 1 to 3 right there. Let's see though. Let's see what happens on the. Yeah, we just hanging around these levels a little bit too long for me. They already faked me out one time. definitely don't want to get faked out again. I'd rather just wait for a better day to trade if it's not going to do anything. I think I should maybe even take that buy right there, to be honest. I just don't feel safe to selling for sure. It's like we did get that sweep on the liquidity on the 1 hour. We started to reject a little bit, but just can't trust it. So pretty much what I'm looking for right now, the only trade idea I'm truly interested in is pretty much the same one I just took the loss on. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm wondering if we get down here and hold that first presented fair value gap. If we go up there, we don't really even have to go this high. But even if we can get back above the most previous highs up there, this trade is a 3.47 to 1 risk to reward. That's what I'm thinking about. And I was also thinking, even if it do comes down all the way down here, maybe we could scratch it. But I think this stop loss should hold. Right. I'm still noticing how, you know, we went down here. This was the fake move. It broke out back above. And now, it's using the top of this new week opening gap. So that's why I have like a potential entry down here to where if it do sweep liquidity down here, like what it's trying to do right now, maybe that could be a possible entry. But the only thing that I truly hate is that it's 1022. And I feel like if the market was setting up for buys a little bit better, I don't know. I just feel like it should be a little bit cleaner. Right now, nothing is truly clean, right? Because just like you can make the argument, just like we're respecting the top of this, we're respecting the lower of this, right? So we're kind of stuck in the range right now. So that's the only thing that I truly don't like about this trade idea. When I took the trade, it was because, I bought it on a pullback on momentum right here, right? Or maybe it was right here, right? I was trying to buy on momentum to go back up. But the momentum just suddenly came to a stop. So, when that happened, you got to ask yourself, well, even if you're thinking buy, why did the momentum come to a stop like that? Well, I guess it's not my day today because I'm getting stopped out on everything. I'm getting stopped out on everything. But this could be a potential opportunity right here to get right back in. We're going to see. I just don't want to get caught up in any more chop and fake outs. Like, if this is going to drop, it should be dropping. Let's see. I don't want to get caught up in any more fake outs. Luckily, I'm only down 1% on the day, so I'm not really tripping. Good risk management, we'll be all right. But it's still annoying. Like, I don't want to take a sell right here and then it just reverses right back up top. That's if it does that, then I know for sure I'm just like, it's time to walk away. So At least before like this, I'm just looking at a potential trade idea for a sale. But I would like to have at least a swing low be made on a 1 minute. But price is moving pretty fast right now. Could just take off. Let's see what it wants to do. Oh yeah, it's moving real fast. All right, so I was trying to see if we could have caught the sell up top, but if you try to take the sell now, still got to use the same stop. Let me see what's the risk to reward on this. It's not that good. My bad. I'm trying to figure something out real quick. Got a little quiet. Let me see. It's pulling back. That could, if it's going to continue to the downside, that would have been a good entry. But at this point, I don't even really trust it, man. It's just going down, going up. Like if I can't put my stop loss right here and target something to the lower, it's like I don't even want to trade it. It's just going to keep reversing on me every time I take a trade. Let's see how much this thing can want to pull up. This could be a really good risk to reward right here, if it respects where I think it could respect. That could be a weak entry right there. Let's see. make sure I'm looking at that. Gotta also remember that 5 minute, right? Because this market is stopping in such a weird place right here. It should just keep going. Well, that might be the end of the drop just that fast. I mean, this market is choppy. This market is choppy. The 5 minute look real good for the downside too, but is it going to, continue on with some momentum? Right, it looks real good on that 1 hour high as well. The way that those 5 minute candles closed up here, I wish I would have seen this a little bit earlier. I was thinking buys. Oh man, and then a 1 hour. Oh man, I'm tripping today. I am tripping today, you guys. All right, burnout. Sometimes you have some traders burn out and can't even see the easy stuff, but that was a good entry right there. But it just took too long to get through there. And then look how fast it's popping right back up. It's a weird market today. It's one of those markets, for me, I don't really like trading these too much, to be honest. I guess I'm just scared of like what could happen if the market just magically start going back up. I mean, if this 1 hour candle do close weak, which it should, what's the target for liquidity, right? I mean, we will have to at least want to put back 100 plus points. I think it's possible. On the 4 hour chart, we still got a breakaway gap on the 4 hour chart. So I just don't like being up in here like on the 4 hour time frame. Look at this. I don't like being a part of all of this. This is why it's so hard for me right now. Because look at it's just too much. Too much consolidation. It goes up, comes down, goes up. Boring. I'm good on that. It do suck that I'm down right now on the day. But it's just hard to trust this market to keep going down is all I'm saying. We know it want to, but is it going to chop around all day or is it going to actually go down somewhere today? That's the question. I mean, because I already took a loss, now I'm like real cautious. I'm like, I don't want to take another loss, I'm checking like every time frame. I'm thinking about the ranges and everything. Right, on a 5 minute, it would be nice to at least get a swing low on a 5 minute. But right here, we dipped into a discount. We're still kind of like holding that quarter level. I don't like that. Look how fast we just went up right there on a 1 minute time frame. That's crazy. Man, if this market wasn't so choppy right now, I would want to take a buy, but this is crazy, man. So I'm so conflicted. Let's see.